started doing things, hanging out with people, I was like, all right, well, I could stick with this and I want to do this.
Yeah.
So I think just like coming out of your comfort zone a little and just sticking with it and not giving up when it gets hard is the best thing to do.
It's important, man, because that was that. Did you? I know you had other opportunities, but was that part of like the plan? Was to go somewhere where you had to be outside your comfort zone, or you didn't want to, because it's easy to be like if you went somewhere closer to home, like being able to just get back to home real quickly, like that's a little bit different. But being out there, you're what 12, 13 hours away, outside of a family being there and everything like that, like. Was that part of the plan, or is it just kind of happened that way?
I think it kind of just happened that way. Like I was originally gonna go to New Mexico Highlands, which is like 5 hours away, but then that all went away. So I ended up going with the next best option, and then ended up in Missouri. So I think it was just all part of God's plan, like moving me out there.
No accidents, right?
Nope.
And I mean, and it's something that at some point we got to learn. We got to learn to step out of our comfort zone, and so to have that opportunity to kind of do it out there, I mean, you take it how you take it, right? Like sometimes you don't know you're about to do something different, and I'm sure it's going to pay off in the future.
Yeah.
Lish.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Lish. Let's talk about baseball a little bit. What are you looking forward to as far as baseball goes? Because me personally, I know that you're a damn good baseball player, and I feel like you probably enjoy some of the competition that you get and some of your success that you get on the baseball field a little bit more than football at times. So let's talk about baseball. Like, what are you looking forward to your senior season? And then also, what are you looking forward to in the future?
My senior season, I'm just mainly looking forward to probably, or hopefully, I'm being the ace this year and just pitching a lot and just hopefully you can bring that second win in the playoffs, finally break that. So we just need to win 2 games in a day and then we're in the top 8. Hopefully we can do that this year. And then I'm just looking forward to this month actually, in like the 20th to the 23rd, I'm gonna go to Texas and play for the RBI Rockies League, and that's gonna be fun too.
Oh yeah, you go play some good baseball out there too. I know baseball. I think the state, man. There's a lot of good teams out here in the state, especially some of the travel teams. So that's dope being able to get an opportunity to go out there and showcase your talents, put your your name out there and get on the radar of a few people. What do you prefer better, football or baseball?
It's weird because it's like when baseball season's coming around, I'm like 100%. Like I like baseball more, and then we get to like the first few weeks of football, and I'm like, all right, it's close. I like both of them.
Like Bo Jackson.
It's funny because you don't see that too often. You see it. Obviously, you see it in high school, but you don't see it often like in college and the pros, like the two sports stars. So to be really, be pretty decent at both of them, is just homage to your hard work, man. Because I know you work hard at both of them too.
Would you rather pitch a no hitter or catch 3 touchdowns as a tight end in one game?
Probably pitching no hitter.
It's harder to do.
Yeah, it is harder.
Definitely harder to do.
I was trying to think of something to equate with football, but then I was like, I'm gonna put too big of a number on it, and it's gonna be like that's unachievable.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. He went to LA last year and played for that junior Rockies team or the RBI team. And then in January he's going to Hawaii for the Hawaii Tiki Bowl, which
Nice.
both of my boys were able to play in and be.
You kind of got screwed out of the Hawaii part, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I did with COVID.
I mean, Orlando's nice, but Hawaii?
It ain't Hawaii,
Yeah.
yes, for sure.
How do you feel about that,
But is
Elijah?
that screwed financially? I don't know.
A lot cheaper to go to Florida.
Facts.
It's gonna be really, I think, just a fun experience. Same type of thing. How he said, like, get you out of the comfort zone a little bit. Because I'm not gonna know a lot of people out there, but it's gonna be something that just helps you grow.
Well, you actually have a little bit of an advantage over your brother because he went out there solo dolo. Really,
Yeah.
you got a couple guys who may be attending with you. Hopefully, But before we get off of baseball, for those who don't know, tell us a little bit more about the Rockies team that you'll be playing on. Just a little bit about it in general, what it is, and how does one get chosen for a team like that?
It's this old league that they used to run. I think back when you were in high school, right?
Yeah.
Way back when.
Way back when.
That's what he was applying.
That's what he's saying. Man. Old people.
Then they stopped doing it for a while, but last year they continued it, and it's just your coach. If your coach is one of the people for them, they can qualify, and then they pick a few people from their team, from other teams that they think stand out, and you go to the tryout. I did that 2 days ago, and they could get professional like MLB scouts from the Rockies out there, and they time your 60s. They do everything: ground balls, hitting, pitching.
That's what's up.
They just test everything.
Yo, shout out Coach Ernesto too.
I was getting ready to say that's dope that you got the kind of out of the validation from Nesto, because he's one of the best baseball coaches in the city. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, he does his things, like he's proven, he's won championships year after year. He's always competing, and for him to, say Elijah's that guy, and knowing Nesto, you've kind of been that guy for him for a while since you were a young kid. He's seen the talent that you have. You played varsity pretty young, right?
Yeah.
So that's pretty dope that he sees that in you, and he's backing you too. So that's dope.
Keep it up, man. That's dude. That's one of my I have no part of it or anything like that, but it's cool to see how just the history with that baseball team over there at North, and I know Nesto's been a part of it for a long time, from not just being playing there, but been coaching there for a long time, and it's awesome to see what they've built, and I'm rooting for y'all to break through that barrier and get to that final 8 and really make some hay, because you get these Northside kids in that tournament, and you get them the confidence of having won 2 to get there. You know what I mean? Like, who knows what can happen at that point? And I think you saw it this year with 5A, with 4A and 3A with baseball. Like, dude, once you get into that final 8, anything can happen. And you got to get beat twice to get put out, and anything can happen at that point. And you might take a run further than anybody thought. So hopefully you guys get there, and I'm hoping you guys get there in football too, bro, because that's something that we chased for a long time. Being a graduate of the class of 2001 of North, only one of us at this table, or 2 of us at this table, can say we graduated from North. You know what I mean? To see you guys break through that barrier, especially with the league you guys are in, and some of the teams you have to play this year, man, that'll be super awesome.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be tough, but I think we can do it.
Yeah, hey, it's dope to hear every team always goes into the season expecting to win, right? But just to hear the excitement that's kind of brewing around this senior class is pretty dope. But I'm going to put Elijah in the hot seat.
Uh-oh.
You get similar offers, one in baseball, one in football. You said you kind of like them both. Which one you choosing?
I think at that point it's kind of just which one I feel like I'm going to have a better shot at, because it's just different. Like, different positions can mean different, possibilities. Like, I can go in at tight end, I can go in at tackle, just long snapping, kind of depends on the position.
Yeah.
And same thing with baseball, that could be like first base, third base, or pitcher. It kind of just depends on what I think I can do there.
Yeah.
Also depends on the schools that come calling for you too, right? Like,
And the money. That's this dad speaking. And the money.
Yeah.
Yo, tuition ain't no joke these days,
Especially
bro.
when you got 2 of them, bro.
Yeah. I ain't paying nothing for Josiah. He earned that. So
Yeah.
Good for you, bud. Good job. You should better hit your dad up for, I took some burden off of your back, so
Save me some extra money.
Yeah. NIL deal starting at home, dog. Yo, man, it's awesome, bro. And we'll dive more into what these boys got coming up. What's up?
He'll give him that deal, but he got to wear some Prime Element gear.
Hey.
You know what I mean?
Hey, I
to
got
support
pictures
his
of him.
pops.
I got pictures of him at shows acting like he wasn't a fan. Look
Yeah.
Hey,
ask him what song he used to play all the time before games. It was one of my songs.
Reach for
It
the
wasn't.
stars.
Yeah.
Which one?
Reach for the stars.
Hey,
Okay.
There's that title right there. That's
Okay.
a game. That's a song you should listen to before a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just the
it's
title alone tells you.
It's some heartfelt stuff, It was basically like I always said as a rapper, I never rapped about anything that I didn't live through, experiences. So, it was just some heartfelt song, and I guess apparently it touched him, so that I'm blessed for that,
Hell yeah, man. That's all we want, right? It happened to be your son.
Yeah.
But to know the music you make is making a difference in somebody's life, or just, they go for that record when things aren't going good, or when they're getting amped up for a game or something like that, dude. That's dope. That's all you want.
Right, exactly.
Yo, pivot a little bit. Shout out to Cutthroat Barbers and Anglers, 38th and Pierce and Wheat Ridge. AJ, the chef, leads a team of excellent barbers providing all the latest cuts in men's hair fashion. The fellas at Cutthroat take the art of barber into the next level. They got a chair open waiting for your visit. So hit up cocutthroat.com, book yourself a service. Shout out to AJ and his team over there. Make sure you go follow them on their socials, Cutthroat Barbers and Anglers, or at cocutthroat.com. Also, David, I know you're a fisherman, but they're opening fly shop in the back of the barber shop. So come in July 13th. You got the Canyon Fly Shop, the first of its kind concept. Cuts up front, flies in the back. One-stop shop for anglers of all ages. So check them out. Grand opening for the Canyon Fly Shop is July 13th. Stay tuned for more. Dom.
Hey man, let's talk a little football.
Let's talk some football. We with the stud linebacker over here, and we with the all-around football player and junkie over here. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, the 5-1. He's the Julian Edelman, right? He plays a lot of positions, except for Julian Edelman never went and played in the trenches.
Have you ever played left out?
I think Josiah and Coach left him out on the way here almost.
What was that joke? He played right guard. He played right bench and guarded the water bottles.
Yeah. Hey man, this list is a pretty interesting list. ESPN and a bunch of execs put together a list of the top 10 off the ball linebackers. All right, and this list, some say there's some controversy with it. Some say there's some people that were left off the list. But let's get, the take of all of us here at the table. What do you guys feel about this list? Do you think anybody that's on this list is ranked too high, and or who got left off? Who got snubbed?
I'll go with the linebacker first.
For me, I would say like one of the best linebackers in the NFL. We were talking about it earlier. Mm-hmm. I know Dom said, he was hurt, but Micah Parsons, he's a legit linebacker. Like, he's good. He comes downhill fast, makes plays out in the open field. He's just an all-around great linebacker. And I think even though he was hurt, he's coming back this year. He's going to, do some damage on the field.
Yeah, for sure. I think, honestly, if Parsons would have played a full year, he would have definitely been on this list. He probably would have been top of this list, in my opinion, as well. But, sometimes it's not about what you did before. It's about what you do now. So
some of us read the list.
Yeah.
And some of us see that Michael Parsons was left out of the off-ball linebacker category this year. So he said you'll see him later on in their other list. So I imagine they're going to move him down to the edge.
If you also read it was because of an injury.
I mean,
that's what it says.
Where does it say that?
It's verbatim, right, what you're talking about. 2002 season on the sideline because of injury. Do you see that?
I see it. I see it.
I see it. So
I think I tend to agree with your side here. I mean, you can say injury, but you can't act like that dude doesn't disrupt the game.
No. I get it, but we're talking statistically. What did they do? Who was the top 10? That's what this list's about.
Just gotta know football. He likes the Raiders.
hey, we'll see. We'll see.
Yo, shots fired. Nah, man, Fred Warner had a great year last year. Last couple years kind of made his name even more felt. So, I'll give him number one, bro. I agree with number one ranking on there. But, I've always been a big fan of Roquan, and he got traded from the Bears over to the Ravens. And, the rich get richer. You think about the studs that the Ravens have, pairing him up with Patrick Queen and just all that they do on defense, man. It's just kind of unfair.
Yeah, no, for sure. He's a stud, bro, and I'm excited to see what he does with the Ravens because I think he was a perfect piece to what they may have been missing.
Yeah.
Kind of since, their linebacking core ever since Ray Lewis has kind of, had some studs, but were they really, is that their home? Were they going to be solidified there, and have they lived up to Ray Lewis's expectations? Not quite. So to bring in a veteran like this is going to help them out, I believe. Because they're also still don't know what's going to happen with their current situation. So good for them. There's a lot of good guys on this list, though. What do you think, Coach?
I mean, honestly, if I'm being completely 100% open, I'm not really like I don't watch linebackers during football games. I'm just a fan of football and in general. When I played football, I was a right guard. I was always the fat kid. You know, now that I'm in high school, I've learned and transitioned to being a wide receivers coach or an offensive guy. So, you know, guys that stand out to me on the football field are the dudes who make the highlight plays, quarterbacks, receivers, running backs. And to me, that's kind of a slap in the face to the trench dudes because I was a trench dude, but I really don't even pay attention to that anymore. It's just watching the highlights and things like that. But, you know, watching the way these linebackers fly around nowadays is ridiculous compared to when I was a kid watching linebackers play. You know, these dudes are running 4-3, 4-4s, sideline to sideline.
Yeah, they're covering receivers and slot receivers, they're almost like a nickelback.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and it's just crazy to me how fast and how big these guys are nowadays.
One that's on this list that kind of surprised me, but then you go back and look at the year he had is Matt Milano at number 4.
Oh, I love him.
Like, well, yeah, you know, he's good, but like coach was just talking about like the flashy plays and you know, he's not one of those ones that you would think were like being super flashy. Then you looked at he had 3 interceptions, 11 pass deflections, you know, 0 touchdowns allowed, over 6 or 7 targets, and you start looking at the numbers and the fact that he was a Pro Bowler and All Pro this year, and you're like, oh damn, he really had a good season, man. Like, he snuck up on this list too, and then Devin White, man, like. You know, I know locally the Broncos people were kicking the Broncos for not trying to get him because he was up there with the other kid from that went out to Pittsburgh. I forget the other Devin, but nonetheless, like he's another one, bro. Like that linebacker core in Tampa, they got a solid linebacker core with Levante David and Devin White. So he's another one that, man, you can't pass up on that too, and can't feel bad about him being on there.
Yeah, I know Josiah off the record was talking about Devin White before we got started here, so I know it's definitely somebody on the list that he likes.
How about C.J. Mosley still on this list, man? You know, and he's been doing it for a long, long time now, it seems like. I mean, I used to pick him up as my fantasy football defensive guy, I feel like 5 years ago, bro. And, you know, linebacker, man, to be able to crack him like that for a long time in the league. And he's still on this list, making his name felt at age 31.
Yeah, I feel like he should be older than 31. I feel like he's been in the league for like
For
20
real,
years.
And he was another one. Didn't he? Started his career at Baltimore and then ended up going out to New York as a free agent. So, yeah, he's one of those ones, dude, that you see with Levante David, Bobby Wagner being out here forever on the honorable mention. But he's another one of those dudes, man, that, you know, you have him at linebacker, there's a good chance you got a solid linebacker for.
Yeah, and he's just Mr. Reliable, right? You know you're going to put him in a spot, he's going to do his job, and he's going to do it at a high level. So why would you not have him on the field, you know? So regardless of how long he's been in the league, he's one of those veterans that you need out there.
Absolutely. Since we're talking linebackers, who's your favorite linebacker in the league right now?
I would say someone I'm excited to watch is one of the guys the Broncos just drafted, Sanders from Oklahoma.
Okay.
He's a legit linebacker. Like, he gets downhill fast. That's what I like in linebackers, getting downhill, putting your body into somebody else's. And I also think from the Lions, Malcolm Rodriguez.
Okay.
He's just a super chippy guy.
Rodriguez is a baller, bro. He's a baller.
I'm going to take your word for it because I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Coach David. We're just like,
These dudes didn't watch Hard Knocks.
he's an offensive guy. Nah, I've never been a Hard Knocks guy.
What?
I don't know.
Me either. I don't
But
think I've ever
that's like
watched
that
a full
with
Hard Knocks.
That's like that with every show. Don will tell me about a show, and I'm like, oh, I never watched that before.
That's me too. I'm probably the biggest guy that watches TV but don't watch TV. Like, the TV's on, but I don't think I'm ever watching it or paying attention. It's just on.
Always sleeping.
I'm focused. My eyes closed. I'm meditating.
Diamond your pops out over here. Someone's gonna get choked out on the behind the scenes.
Somebody's walking home.
Good thing it ain't that far, right?
Lige, do you have a favorite linebacker in the league right now? Or who's the best?
I mean, I don't really watch like linebackers, but just Fred Warner. He just flies around, just throws his body on the line for everything. Like how fast he gets across the whole entire like field to make tackles.
What about you, Don?
Favorite linebacker.
Since
right
everybody's
now?
answered that question.
Honestly, even though like we opened it up, kind of like me saying why he wasn't on the list.
Being a hater.
I think Micah Parsons is probably my favorite linebacker in the league. But I also like, and this guy's kind of, they don't, you don't know what's going to happen with him right now, but he plays the game right, is Patrick Queen. So he flies around all the time. And if I don't know, do you know what his status is right now? Like, is he still on the market? Did the Ravens decide to keep him?
I don't know, man.
I was trying to look for it. I know he was. They were talking about him going elsewhere. The Raiders were looking at him a little bit. But if he stays in Baltimore with that core that they have right now, holy fuck, that's scary.
Because they declined his 5th year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's still on there right now, but we'll see what happens if a trade goes through or something else later on. But I mean, I think he's that dude too. He's definitely a very good player. It's kind of I thought it was surprising that the Ravens declined his option, but that's business in the NFL. He might just come out this year and have a great year, and then they're really gonna owe him a bag. But you can always franchise him though. Getting on the linebackers, what made you want to play linebacker?
I think just like knowing who Ray Lewis was, like, oh, this dude kills people. Everyone's scared of him. Like, if you run across his face, it's gonna be a bad day.
My favorite Ray Lewis video is that one where Chad
yeah,
Ochocinco, he tries to crack him in the end zone, dude. Like they're at the goal line and he tries to crack him, and he just freaking gets leveled, and he's like, "Oh, I accidentally hit Ray."
Yeah. Hey, that's the GOAT, bro.
Ray Lewis,
That's the GOAT.
you think so?
I mean, me, I love emotional players. I love guys who play with the chip, and that dude always is on the field playing with the chip. He's inspirational. Like, if you see someone playing as hard as Ray Lewis plays, you want to play that hard. Like, if he's gonna run through a wall, why won't I? You know what I'm saying? And that's why that dude is that's my GOAT.
Sorry, I don't want to veer off topic, but we're on topic. Where do you rank Brian Urlacher as the linebacker? Because that's a guy that, like, I know his career didn't seem to, like, the career ended maybe a year or 2 years earlier than it probably could have, but he was loyal to the Bears. He didn't like leave anywhere else, right? Like, he never went and had like a cup of tea with someone else. And
Yeah. Man, that's tough, dude, because I start thinking about all the linebackers that have played the game, right? Because another linebacker who's my favorite, just because I don't even know why, I just loved him. I wore the number 55 because of him, is Junior Seau.
yeah.
And then, I probably would put Urlacher a little bit above a guy like Zach Thomas. I said that purposely. Just to fuck with him.
I might agree with you though.
I mean, but they're kind of similar though.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They're consistent guys. They're lunch pail guys, right? They're gonna come to work. They're gonna do their job. They're gonna do it at a great level. They're kind of the quarterbacks of the defense. They're not the most flashy guys, but they get the shit done.
Prime for prime. Urlacher or Luke Kuechly?
Luke.
Yeah.
Luke.
Yeah.
I love the way Luke Kuechly played ball.
His career cut short just because of the way he played ball.
Yeah.
You talk about downhill.
Yeah, he was really downhill, and then the way he studied the game was crazy.
Yeah.
Like watching YouTube videos of how he would be able to just call out plays and be like, "Oh, that guy's pulling. This is where the ball's going." Is just insane.
Yeah. Yeah, Luke Kuechly was a dog.
So this question is for both Elijah and Josiah. When you guys are playing, who do you kind of envision your game try to emulate your game off of, or try to see yourself playing like?
What sport?
We'll go football, since we're talking linebackers.
Go first for linebacker.
I say that I want to be like, I don't know. I want to be like Luke Kuechly in the way that he studies the game. Like, I want to know what play they're running, like what's gonna happen before the ball's even snapped. But like during the play, I want to be like Ray Lewis, like don't come across my face because I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah. Hey, that's a deadly combination.
He's got that attitude on the field. I've been across Josiah a couple of different times where he's had to come out the game and you go to talk to him and it's just like,
oh, this dude pissed me off.
I'm gonna let this dude be real quick.
This is the only kid that'll cuss you out for bringing him off the damn field. Like, bro, somebody else has to play too.
It's like, you need a blow, dude.
How about, you talk about that's who you like to play with before we get to Lige. It just like flashed a memory of G-Dub where he fucking just hit Honeycutt and you just see paint from the helmet just in the air. Like, I wish your mom would have caught like a still of all the paint chips just up in the air. That would have been such a sick picture, bro. That was one of the best hits that I've seen while we were coaching at North. Like, that fucking hit was amazing. There was a couple of them. The punt from West, he killed that. Oh my god!
That's when I was looking at David when you're talking about him hitting, having a big hit. And I was looking at David, and that's the first thing that came to my mind was just that video of the punt returner just
Yeah.
getting completely murdered.
We were talking about it with one of my friends from GW who coaches over there at George, and we were talking about it later on that night about that hit on Honeycutt where his helmet pretty much exploded when Josiah hit him. It was like a heavyweight fight where you have your best running back coming to the hole, and that guy throws a perfect punch, and you see all the saliva and nose snot just coming out from the punch. That's kind of how that hit went. When
Down
they hit,
goes Frazier.
yeah, down goes Frazier.
Nah.
When he hit Honeycutt, this helmet just exploded like a grenade, and it was like, wow.
I just remember seeing his purple helmet. I was like, "What the hell happened to your helmet, dude?" Because it was all white when we started. Like now you got this big old gash of purple in there. Like, the hell happened? But nah, Elijah, same question for you though. Who do you model your game after, or who would you? And it could be whatever position you play. Think of all the many positions you play, because not everyone's a 5-tool player like you. But
I don't really know. I didn't really think about it like that. Like I've never really thought about like trying to be someone else, because I'm kind of like in between for positions like tight end. I'm not as fast as other people, but then I come to line and I'm faster than other people, but I'm not as heavy as other people. So it's like kind of just try to be the best that I can and be for what I am.
who do you look at for like just for like advice without them giving you advice? Like, so like if I want to, like I see like, as tight end, like, yo, I like what Travis Kelce does here and here, or as a tackle, I like what this person does here and here. Is there anybody that you kind of like look at their game and you're like, hey, I like that. Let me try to steal a piece from that for my game.
Kind of just George Kittle, the way he blocks, just get downfield, just do what you got to do.
My man's a lineman too. You hear that? You hear that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, but that's where you make your money playing tight end, is really blocking.
yep.
Right? If you can be a good blocking tight end, you're gonna make some money.
You're gonna be on the
Even
field
though
for
the
sure.
game is changing, right? The game is always changing, but there's still those teams that really, really appreciate a good tight end.
Something to be said about having that extra quote unquote lineman out on the field for you. You know what I mean? If you can get, you get 6 big boys that are moving the line of scrimmage. Dude, you can do a lot with that. Coming off play action, you do running game, whatever. It could be lethal.
Hey, we were talking about the GOAT earlier, but we also kind of got to bring up, the GOAT of football, period. And Brady, man, he just lost $30 million in Bitcoin. That's crazy.
Do you think?
I can't believe it.
Well, that was from the FTX thing, right?
Yes.
Do you think he even noticed his $30 million being gone?
No.
Is that like us losing $5?
That's like us losing 100.
Listen, I will notice if I lost 5 or 100, all right? You just lose money like that, you're going to notice, bro. You can't just let nobody take you for your money. That's why there's a lawsuit, and they're all getting a part of it.
Well, I mean,
And Giselle lost 18 in the same thing. So they really lost. They were married at the time. They lost 48 mil.
you got to be careful messing with questionable new things, bro. I don't know. Like I didn't we talked about it a little bit off air. I didn't dabble too much in crypto, man. I messed around with that Dogecoin a little bit, made me like a little rack or whatever, but nothing life changing, no serious money like that. I was always like, they say scared money don't make no money, and man, my money was like, dude, that's different. That's not like, it's not like having odds on craps or something like that. Like, you're buying digital currency. Like, who controls it? What happens when that shit disappears? Like, I don't know, man. I was always a little leery about putting my money too far into it.
Yeah, for sure. I never caught the wave. I ain't never got no crypto, but I knew a few Crips, though.
Boom.
Come on, cuz. No, there's a lot of people that lost money with that though, bro. And that's part of what exposed that whole FTX thing, was because people went to go cash out. Boy, ain't have no cash for them to cash out. I think that was my biggest worry. It was like, and that's my worry with banks, bro. And I hate to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but like when shit goes sour and you want to go get your money, like, how you gonna get your money?
He's one of those old school got the money under the mattress type.
Nah, because mattresses catch on fire, dog. That's what you need a safe for.
True.
You need a fireproof safe. No, but like, with this FTX thing too, like, like I've heard it with Robinhood when remember when AMC and the AMC movie theaters, there was a couple other like stocks that were like being GameStop was the other one, where they were like inflating the stock and people were cashing in, making lots of money, while like Robinhood, which is an app that you can trade crypto and make like day trades on, they were like putting, a hold on like releasing people's money. Like they're like, no, you can't. Too many people have taken their money out. It's gonna screw the market up. We can't do that. Whatever for whatever reason. So that was always my fear. Like if I invested too much in it and I start making good money on it, like are they gonna tell me I can't take out my money? Or are they gonna say you can only take out so much of it?
That's kind of shady, right? Because they're like, oh no, you can't take it out, and then the market crashes.
Well, that shit's all speculation anyway. You're like, that's how they're making money. Is like they're speculating certain things are going to happen with the market, and that's they're kind of gambling your money like that in different stocks. So I don't know, bro. Like shit's volatile, dude. Like you watch the news and see Dow Jones be crashing all the time, and I was just always afraid to get my money too far involved in that and not be able to recoup it. Especially if like, you start thinking about, I'm not dead broke, but bitch, I'm not filthy rich, but bitch, I'm barely broke. Like if I'm gonna be spending some money, I don't want to not be able to get that money back.
Yeah, and this is a big lawsuit, bro. Before it collapsed, they were valued at $32 billion. So, and 48 million of that is to Brady and Giselle. So, that's a lot of other people they owe bread to.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yo, that's why homie's facing some charges, bro. Just like the current day Madoff. You know what I mean? Like, we'll see what happens with that, bro. I don't know. Like I said, I don't dabble in that fun money too much. But what I do dabble in is the outlook for these expectations from these three fellas that we're sitting with right now.
Yeah.
And kind of want to get back into them a little bit more. We got to hear their story coming up. Like, I want to see what they're looking forward to coming up. Obviously with David, as a coach, and then, you kind of dabbled on it a little bit before we started about being a father and being able to watch Josiah the next couple of years, especially as he starts progressing and getting time, and then who knows where Elijah goes these next couple of years with his athletic careers. So what are your goals for this year as a coach? But what are some of the things you want to see this year from your kids too?
As a coach, you always want to, well, at least for me, and I know you guys are kind of the same way too. I always want to learn. I never want to be that coach that is okay with just being the same every year.
Yeah.
I want to learn from the players. I want to study, get into the new generational things, just anything, new drills, pick the brains of other people who have experienced more than me, and just never be content with being subpar or being average. I want to be the best coach that I could be, and put in the time for studying, whether that's film or YouTube videos or fundamental stuff or reading, just always being better. My goal for the season, as a skills coach, as a wide receivers coach, is I want to see kids get to the next level. I want to see some of these kids get offers and be proud and, be able to be those first kids in college, the Northside kids that not very many of their parents could afford college or didn't go to college or barely even finished high school. I want these kids to be the first generation to play a college sport or get that college degree. That's where I really take pride in wanting these kids to play at the next level. And I honestly think we have 5, 6, 7 kids that can get college scholarships this year on this football team.
That's big too, coming from the north side like that, man. We don't get a lot of kids. I mean, we've had some years where we sent multiple kids, but that's awesome.
Yeah, like that year we sent Donnie and all them. I think we sent 5. But to speak on that, there's quite a bit of that number that you just said is just in the receiving corps too. Correct?
Yeah,
I mean, because
correct.
I'm thinking about a few that we know, and Lorenzo, Jack, those guys.
Gabe,
they're probably all. I mean, I've seen all of their social medias to where they're doing visits and
Yeah.
schools are reaching out. So that's 3 of that list that he already
Dude,
said. Right
them
now,
3 right there too. They've got great size on them. Like, and you don't get that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that a lot from the north side, man. It just is what it is. Sometimes these kids our beans don't grow that big. You know what I mean? But
yeah, and it's crazy to me because 3 of those guys, those 3 guys will be starters for us on that side of the ball.
Yeah.
Our 4th starter would probably be Elijah Berg, which you guys are very familiar with too.
yep.
Yeah.
Shout out to Elijah Berg.
3 out of those 4 players I've coached prior to high school.
Yeah.
Lorenzo since 2nd grade, Elijah Berg since 2nd or 3rd grade. Gabe played futures for us, and then he came over and played for me at Wheat Ridge in 8th grade. So, I take pride in hopefully that these guys will get some good scholarship money and go play at the next level, and me being able to just focus on really being a fan of theirs now and not a coach, and witnessing what they can do at the next level.
It's fun to follow these kids that we've coached before that are up at the next level. Your Brandon Bennett, KJ's. These kids that are doing different things at the next level, and it's fun to watch them, man. It's fun to kind of follow them and see where their career's taking them. See, hey, are they getting some time in now, or what are they doing? What are they experiencing? That's why I love having kids that we've coached before come on and talk about their student athlete experience, because it gives other kids that we might have as listeners or viewers kind of an idea of like everyone's experience is different. So just because you're not someone that wants to step out your comfort zone, listening to Josiah talk about stepping outside his comfort zone and how much he's grown from doing that might be enough to be like, you know what, I do want to kind of go away, opposed to being like, an hour or 2 or 3 hours away. Like there's a big difference between New Mexico Highlands, you said 5-6 hours, and Culver Stockton, which is 12, 13 hours away. That's a big difference. That's not a day trip that you want to take too often.
Yeah, and it's crazy for me, just being who I was. So long story short, when I was in high school, I had a couple D1 offers, D2 offers to go play college baseball. I didn't step out of my comfort zone. I was scared. I didn't want to leave home. I didn't want to leave my girlfriend at the time, which happened to be their mom. So, for him to take that step to go do that makes me very proud as a father, because I didn't have the balls, or I wasn't man enough to do that. And I regret it every day, and I look back at it and people ask me, do you miss playing? Do you miss? Yeah, I do. And I regret that I didn't take that opportunity to do that.
No.
Hey, but really don't regret it, bro, because nothing's an accident in life. And who knows? You said it like, you didn't want to leave your girlfriend who happened to be their mom.
Right.
Like, what if, you would have took that leap and you would have ended up leaving and you would have never had these two young men who are now, going to be in college and playing in college. You know what I mean? So, like, everything happens for a reason, and maybe you sacrificed your blessings to pass it on to them.
And I believe that too, and I regret maybe was the wrong word. I just really miss playing the sport.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why I give back to the community, and I coach. And my passion was baseball, but I love coaching football as well.
Well, that's why it's a blessing to see these kids get opportunities, because, we know, as having played athletics before, that you want to take this thing as far as you can take it. You want them to tell you can't play no more, before you're not playing no more. And so I think that's the regret, maybe, is just like wanting to be able to go as far as you can with it. And that's why I encourage Josiah to just keep grinding and keep working your ass off, because take this thing as far as you can take it until they have to pull you off the field and tell you can't play football no more. And Elijah, the same thing, whether it be baseball or football. Take that thing as far as you can and make these people have tough decisions to, not have you around. Like, you just play ball ball out and work as hard as you can to get there, because you guys already have the right mindset, right attitude. You guys are willing to do the dirty work, do things that other kids aren't willing to do to kind of get there. So don't let nothing like that stop you.
For sure. Since you brought up Josiah, what are some of your goals and expectations for this upcoming football season?
One of my goals is just to get on the travel squad. Last year I redshirted, so I didn't get a chance to be on the travel squad. But I really want to make the special team squad, so that way I can prove myself and be like, look at me, like, I'm going to go down there and hit somebody. I'll do whatever you guys need me to do to get on the field. Like, just let me get my opportunity to try.
For sure. And that's where you got to kind of make your way in sometimes, is through those special teams. You know what I mean? That's where you get noticed. And then, some of the greats we talk about till this day made their debut on special teams.
The first one I just think about when he said sometimes you have to go down there and make yourself known. Terrell Davis.
Yeah.
One of the greatest, stories there is in football is, a 6th-round kid that, went down on kickoff coverage and blew somebody up. And the next thing you know, they're like, where's 30 at? And then he blossomed into a Hall of Fame football career.
And one of the best running backs to play the game, honestly,
absolutely.
Even coming from a Raiders fan.
Absolutely. Injuries may have derailed that a little bit, but that doesn't take away anything that he did. Mm-hmm. And so, I think, again, going back to, it is funny that that's the way you answered, because it goes back to being willing to do things that maybe other people aren't willing to do. There might be other people on that team or on teams that you've been on where they're like, no, I'm a starter. I'm this. I'm on the offense. I'm on the defense, or I'm on the offense. I'm a starter. And maybe not so willing to say, you know what, I'll do whatever. I'll go play special teams. I'll go play, this, that, or the other. And so, having that ability to be able to say, you know what do you need? let me do it is big, man. It's definitely real big.
For sure, because you got some high end recruits, right, that are like, oh no, I was recruited to play offense, I was recruited to play defense. I ain't touching special teams. I'm a 4-star. I'm a 5-star. Like I don't need to do that. Stupid, and I doubt there's a lot out there, but there are some divas. So way to be ready to strap it on and do whatever it takes.
Elijah, what are you looking to get out of this season, whether it be football or baseball? What mark are you hoping to leave to cap off your senior season?
Graduation cap off your senior season.
I mean, hopefully just get an offer to go play somewhere, whether baseball or football, just something, opportunity just to go and prove myself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. David,
Yes, sir.
as a father, what's it like to see your kids competing at a high level, man?
Honestly, the greatest joy that I've ever had as a coach or a father is watching my two kids compete on a varsity football team or baseball team together. Josiah was a 4-year varsity football and baseball player. Elijah will be a 4-year varsity player, and he'll only be a 3-year varsity baseball player only because of COVID. But to watch them both shine at that level and both be, Elijah gets letters every day from baseball coaches going to junior camps or wanting to sign up and do the recruit letters and stuff like that. The same way with Josiah, I couldn't keep up with all the recruit letters and stuff that he was getting. So for me, it's proud. It's a proud moment, because it feels like I did my job as a dad, teach them the right way. I don't have to do anything for them. They communicate with college coaches. They do everything on their own. In the classroom, Josiah graduated with a 3.8 GPA. Elijah currently has a 4.2 GPA. So,
Good shit, dude.
I'm blessed, that these guys do what they have to do in the classroom. They do what they have to do as a citizen, and they do what they have to do on the football and baseball fields. I couldn't be more proud, and it just excites me to see Josiah doing what he's doing at the college level. And, I don't even know who he is half the time. I see his social media page blowing up with all his friends and partying and living the life, joining a fraternity. And then, watching the experience and being able to watch Elijah shine on the football field and being selected to go to this Tiki Bowl and then also making this RBI team. And, as a junior this past year, he was killing it on the diamond in the baseball field. Baseball diamond. Excuse me.
I used to love seeing the things you'd share about him, dude. It was cool seeing he had a great pitching outing and he shared his stats from his game, dude. I mean, it's dope because I root for Elijah. I know I wasn't coaching ball this past season, but these kids, obviously they've made an impact in my life to a point where I root for them too, man. Like I see them and you see any of the kids we coach and it's just like, yo, what have you been up to? And he used to see me when we're training for shot putting discus and he'd say what's up and wouldn't be a hater, thankfully. I appreciate that because, there's some kids was salty when we left. And, thankfully I got to talk to a lot of them and kind of like, put some of that shit aside. But Elijah was never salty. He might have clowned a little bit, because that's what he does.
The man of many words, Elijah. He's real quiet until it's time to throw shots, and then it's like he throws daggers.
Yeah. Is the house divided on Elijah's future, as far as if he gets multiple offers from both sports? Where is anybody leaning baseball? Is Josiah over there saying no, play football? Like, is the house divided really, or just supporting whatever?
We're just supporting and praying to God that he gets some offers and that he gets to go extend his career and be an athlete in college and live out his dreams and just focus in the classroom. That's really all we wish for. Any money, college money is good money, right?
Well, the great thing is, did you say he has a 4.2?
Yeah.
Like he's opened the door up to many opportunities versus limiting himself. And that's one thing I know we used to have this every year when we'd have like the parent athletic meeting. It's like you show them the statistics of if you're a 2.0 student, 3.0 student, 4.0 student, and like how many schools, aren't available to you, the lower your GPA is. So to have a 4.2, you've done everything in the classroom to kind of give yourself the opportunity for luck to happen, right? You're doing everything on the field in terms of your hard work and just putting yourself in a position to take advantage of opportunities. And, I think that's the biggest thing, right? People always talk about being lucky or lucking out. And there's no such thing as luck, man. It's just that hard work preparing you for when the opportunity comes.
Facts.
Absolutely.
Hey, man, it's been a blessing to have all you guys on here. But before we get on to the mailbag question, I just want to personally, you know, thank you all for being a part of my life as a coach. It's been a blessing to, coach to both of you guys, and been a blessing, brother, to share the sideline with you. I've learned so much from all of our relationships, right? Whether it's you and I talking football, talking music, talking life, and then it's learning as a coach on how to handle the total polar opposites in who you are as brothers, right? Like one guy who is
Don't shut up.
is yeah, he's all over the place. He's full of it, and he's gonna bitch you out if you pull him off. And then the other guy who's just quiet, humble, and really is gonna do whatever you say, and not really give you too much about it, but secretly be pissed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like all you guys, man, it's truly been an honor to be a part of your guys' life and your guys' family. You know what I mean? So thank you for that, and I wish nothing but the best for all of you going forward.
And I'll piggyback on what Dom said, and it's something that we talked about last week with Frank, missing the love on the sideline, missing the camaraderie at practice, where we're just we see Dom, we start roasting Dom, then we start roasting Dave, then you start roasting me, and then just having you a few times when I was going through my situation with my divorce, and being able just to talk to you, and you gave me some really good advice, and you're a great shoulder for me. And same thing with Dom and Frank. You guys have always been good to we're fathers and we're men, and it's always good to have strong men in our lives to be able to kind of, hey, dude, I'm going through this shit, what do you think? And because we've all been through some sort of trials and tribulation as men and as fathers, so it's a blessing to have you guys, man. You guys used to bring energy to me all the time on the sideline. Sometimes, I don't know if you guys know this, but as a coach, sometimes you just don't have it. Sometimes you're just like kind of gassed. It's been a long day at work, and you get there and you're just like, how we're gonna get through this day? And then you get someone like Josiah coming in, cracking, talking jokes, or Elijah be hitting them. He'll hit you. He'll hit you where it hurts too, and you're just like, damn, dude, what did I do to deserve that, right? But having kids like them to be able to kind of lift your spirits and get you going on the day is a true blessing, man. So I second Dom, man. Nothing but love to the Romeros.
Now, I will say this too, the feeling's mutual. Going back to Frank Dardano, him getting Hannah to hire me as a features coach that first year, and then Hannah offering me to be a JV coach with you guys that first year. It was some of my funnest times and moments, and I look back at the Little League years and I loved it. The kids got me through so much with my divorce and everything that I was going through, and the energy that you spoke of. Sometimes I wondered how I was going to get through the day or get through the week, and how I was going to be able to do this or that. So those kids got me through it. When I got to the high school level, and I was already through it and healed from it, and I was able to have conversations with you, Al, and basically walk you through a bunch of the things that I did or give some advice, and it really did a lot for me emotionally to show that you're gonna make it okay too. And the friendship that I have with you two, the friendship that I have even with Hannah at this moment, or with Q, or the coaching staff that we had, it's gonna go forever. I appreciate all you guys. We had some great moments, some good things we won't talk about with the coaching retreats and things like that, but those are some good moments, and for me it's great because I've always been a Northside kid.
Yeah. Even though you didn't go to North.
I didn't go to North because I went to George for the computer magnet program, but
and this dude doesn't use computers or magnets these days, bro.
That's not true. I use a computer every day.
And he has tons of magnets on his fridge.
I have
I've
a lot
seen
of
them.
magnets from all the places I traveled.
Yeah.
Or all my beer bottle openers.
Yeah.
No, but like the kids were asking me on my way here, what if they ask you what was your greatest moment as a coach?
Oh, they must have been reading the rundown. Hell yeah, good
were,
shit, y'all.
and beyond, watching. So I got 3 moments. 1, watching both my kids be able to play and compete at the varsity level at the same time, being on the field at the same time. That's 1.
Yeah.
2, watching kids that I coached in Little League compete at the next level and now competing to get scholarships to play college football or baseball, whatever that may be, is the 2nd. And the 3rd thing was beating the shit out of GW 52-0, my alma mater.
Yes.
That year we stomped a a fucking foot in the G-Dub Patriots. That felt great.
That was a fun game. I remember that game, dude.
And you know, respect to Peanut and the Swift brothers over at G-Dub because they've turned that program around. I mean, they competed for a state championship last year almost. You know, they had a great run.
And I don't think North beat them since.
Nah, we've gotten our ass kicked. We've gotten our ass kicked ever since. They had a big chip on their shoulder about that one.
For sure.
But, you know, respect what they're doing over there. Shout out Coach Feinsilver for still doing what he's doing over there with the wrestling and stuff. So, you know, I can't talk too much stuff about G-Dub because that's still my heart. But
yeah, for sure.
That was one of my greatest moments because I know when I went to Georgia North, they ain't never gotten close to beating us.
Nah. We got some stories, but we won't go into it too much. But being that you transitioned for so nicely, they call that a segue.
I know, it's
Killed
almost
it. That
like
was
he was
beautiful,
made
right?
for this, right?
Yeah, might have to get Coach on the podcast talking hip hop. Anyhow, you know, write that down. We'll pass that on to Josiah and Elijah now, and then Dom, I'll ask you, and you can ask me whatever. But what is your greatest memory as an athlete, Elijah, so far? And I know you're a young athlete, but what's something that stands out to you that you'll always remember?
Any sport.
Probably last year going to Cali for baseball was just probably like my first time just going out and not being with my family and all that, just going and competing with people I don't know that I literally knew one person out there, and I just went out and played and just show what I got.
Were you nervous?
A little bit, yeah. But I think once after like that first like little nervousness got out, then I was good.
Okay. Josiah?
For me, I have a couple, but like I think like my two small ones I would say is like the West hit and the Honeycutt hit. But I would say like my biggest one would be getting that like paper to officially sign to Culver. I think it was just like a big thing for me because it was like a lot of people said I wouldn't be able to do it. It's like, look at me now, like I'm doing it.
Oh yeah, yeah. You did. Anytime someone tells you can't do something, and then you make it official, it's definitely one of those. It's almost natural to want to be like, I did it, you know. But you know that's got to be an amazing feeling, bro. So,
Yeah, that's for sure.
Don,
Actually,
greatest moment as a
my
coach.
greatest memory as a coach, honestly, probably has to go back. Two of them, and they're both going to be youth memories. One, winning my first spring championship with my nephews, Jeremiah and Frankie. That team, bro, was special. We played a great team in the Arvada All-Stars, and we were just a better team. That was probably one of the most coolest moments because from that moment on, we kind of were like, you know, we're going to make sure that we ride this thing out together regardless of whether we're on the same sideline or not. We're always going to support each other. We're always going to be there, and we're going to make sure that we all succeed in this sport. So that was one of the first ones. And then actually that same team, but my nephews happened to not be on it because they joined coach over in Wheat Ridge. But we went to the national championship in Vegas and won the national championship. And we took a bunch of inner city kids, you know, and a lot of them probably only time they've ever been to Vegas. Maybe they've never been back since then.
Yeah.
But we have the memory of going out there and saying that we'd come back with that big ass trophy. So that was pretty cool as a coach. Athlete, I remember 99, I think, I played with Maurice Greer.
Damn, you're old.
Slash. We were playing for the Pal Hawks, and my coach in practice was like, Gary, we're going to do this trick play, kind of like our Christmas, right, where the guard comes around, pulls the ball from underneath the center, and runs. And I was gone, bro. I was like, yeah, lineman getting his glory, about to score. And my boy Slash came up and laid wood on me, dog. Everybody was like, damn, that was a hit. It didn't hurt at all, but I felt him lift me off my feet and put me on my ass, bro. And just that memory of almost scoring and then getting caught short by a dude who had his stint in the NFL, I was like, I'll fuck with that. So,
I feel that.
I think mine are just it's like a handful of not necessarily memories, but just experiences in that when a kid comes up and tells you like, "Hey, coach, I appreciate everything you've done,
For sure.
and I appreciate you doing this for me, and you doing that for me, or you having this impact on me, and you don't expect it. We don't do it for the kudos. At least I don't think nobody at this table does it for the kudos. They do it because selfishly I do it because I love the way it makes me feel. Like I love helping young people But you know, I don't do it for the kudos and to have a kid tell you like, hey, coach, you know, you've been like a father figure to me over the years, and I really appreciate everything you've done. Like, it's hard not to feel that choke, you know, that feeling like, oh damn, like you brought it like that. So those are what stick with me the most, man, and will always stick with me. And my greatest memory as an athlete, I don't know. I wasn't an athlete. No,
I was always big as fuck. We're the most athletic on the field.
It's not like a great memory, but it's a funny story. We were practicing to play Thompson Valley, and we had to go up there to play them in Thompson Valley. It's our senior year, and we were having a shitty practice. And coach got in the locker room, started ripping us. At one point, called me a big fat slug, and I heard big fat slut. And so we're fast forward to the game. And you know how shitty practices always translate to the game, and you end up having shitty games.
Yeah.
And we're having a shitty game against Thompson Valley, and we're right there still in the game. We're just playing like crap, and we're in the locker room, and coach is ripping us again, like, what are you guys doing? And Albert, why aren't you performing to your best of your ability? Because I'm a big fat slut. And we all started cracking up, and it was pointed out to me that he didn't call me a big fat slut. He called me a big fat slug. So just, you know, it was an embarrassing moment for me, but it's funny. And he asked Frank about that one, and he'll start cracking up laughing because it's just we were getting ripped, and then we all started laughing. So it was a good lighthearted moment, and we end up coming back in that game. We didn't finish the comeback all the way, but we made it respectable and showed who we were in that game. So
That's what's up. Speaking of respectable and showing who they are, we have to do some shout outs.
Yes, sir.
We want to give a shout out to Icon Sales and Boxing, Anytime, Flood Restoration, the Play Harder Podcast, Rebel Promotions, Black Sevens, Janice's Catering, Lash All Beauty, and first and foremost, DNASportsDenver.com. Make sure you go to DNASportsDenver.com right now, book you a session, get you some merch, check out a podcast, like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel, and check out all social media platforms.
Yo, shout out to the Romeros for you guys coming out here doing this with us. It's been a long time coming, been waiting for it. Before we get out of here, is anybody you want to give a shout out to? We'll start with David and move over to
I just want to give a shout out to everybody in the world, all the coaches that give back to the community and coach for the love of the game and coach for the love of the kids. You know, there's so much perspective that's put out there now with parents and people that think that because they go to the best schools or they go to the best club teams that their kids are going to have the best opportunities to do this or do that. I'm a firm believer, and I live through testimony, that it doesn't matter what school your kids go to, whether that be a DPS school, a predominantly Mexican school, a small school, that if your kids put in the hard work and they do what they need to do in the classroom and they do what they need to do on the field, that they can get scholarships. Because I know when I coached Little League, I lost a bunch of my players to Pomona's, the Lakewoods, the Green Mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah, and out of all them kids that I coach, not one of those kids are playing college football right now, college baseball, college anything. And here I sit with my son who went to North, where everybody told me not to send him because it's a shitty school, shitty neighborhood, it's a DPS school, and he's living his dream.
Man. Elijah, any shout outs?
Just all my coaches I ever had, just they all taught different things, just made me a better player, better son, better just human.
Nice. Josiah?
I would say everyone who had my back over the years and everyone who supported me, because there was a lot of haters, but there was also a lot of supporters who got me through everything.
That's right. And a shout out to y'all for listening, man. Once again, we love doing this. Appreciate you guys for hopping on.
Appreciate you for having us, and I want to thank you guys too for coaching my kids and being that village that raised them, because I couldn't do it all myself. And without the help of you guys, who knows where we'd be, but here we are. So we appreciate you, and we love you guys as family, and thank you for having us.
That's it. Don, as usual, man. Mad love, brother.
Mad love, and on that note, we're out.
Peace.